is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio A.M. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, as a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is CA Newry, and I shall be your host for today as we have a discussion with two men, actually. Mr. Henry Higgins and Mr. David Williams. Mr. David Williams is on his way up. He's downstairs. And we are having a discussion about International Men's Day Committee. They've been on the show before, and they tend to do their rounds, but I want to at least get a narrative on what is the International Men's Day Committee, right? Why was it started? Mm-hmm. What's the organization about? Because y'all tend to pop up on radio stations all over the place and just announcing one event after the next event after the next event. Just the other day, y'all was doing that International Day for the boy, right, for boys in general, and your group spearheaded a number of events for that. And I'm not sure if the Bohemian listening audience is aware that you exist, that they can join, that they can participate. What is your goal and objective, right? There are a number of people who say, but men don't do this. There's no need for men to be celebrated, so, right? Just that we as men be men. But you all tend to be nurturing. Right. Say, what's up with this new nurturing movement amongst men? And I want to understand like a brief history of the organization and what is your intent. Okay, go ahead.
Well, good morning, Bahamas, and thank you for having me, sir. International Men's Day Committee, we're actually an international committee connected to International Men's Day International, which was started back in 2021.
So this is an international organization?
International organization.
Okay.
That was started back in 1991, my apologies, by Jerome Tulaksing, Dr. Jerome Tulaksing, who's the president in Trinidad and Tobago. Mm-hmm. So we have over 201 countries as a part of International Men's Day Bahamas, International Men's International. So it was started in 1991, and then it died down for a minute, and then it came back in full swing in 1998, and so it's been observed all over the world. Our whole idea really is to honor men who have made contributions to society, not really those who are known or those who are in the spotlight all the time, but to honor those men who are unsung heroes and the heroes who are working quietly within their communities, working quietly within their church, working quietly within the school, and just working to make the Bahamas in this place a better place. But it's being done all over the world.
Okay, I know of a women's bureau that is sponsored by the government and internationally, that there's a branch. Watch Aaron come look at. Hey, why you look up when I say women's bureau?
Because there was a women's bureau.
There's no longer a women's bureau?
Gender and family affairs.
So you're trying to say men including that?
Yes, it is.
Let the men tell you.
Okay.
Yes.
There's no longer the Bureau of Women. It's a Department of Gender
and Family Affairs.
So men are included in that.
That's in the Ministry of Social Services. So there is a men's desk.
And explain this men's desk versus a women's desk.
Well, the men's desk has been really set in place to promote the welfare of men in our nation.
So who sponsors this?
That is the Ministry of Social Services.
Okay, I understand.
Okay? In our ministry, the ministry I work, Ministry of Sports and Culture, there's the National Boys Mentoring Network, which I spearhead in the Ministry of Sports and Culture. So our objective there is to mentor boys, to honor boys, to celebrate boys, and that's what we did last week in partnership with International Men's Day and about 25 other male organizations. We celebrated boys last week.
Okay. Now I just wanted to put that out because there's a narrative that. And I see it in newspapers. I saw 2 articles that I read as letter to the editor when they say we got to care about the boys, we got to care about men. right? And a number of people aren't aware that there are organizations in the Bahamas that just concentrate on men's effort, men's upward mobility, young boys. And I just wanted to make sure that people know that organization exists.
Yes, definitely. And you know, we're not the only organizations. There are many organizations that focus on boys and men in our nation. And they're doing a great job. And there's just a lot of us who got to kick in and do some more. And that's what we're doing, kicking in and doing some more. We're going the extra mile now.
Okay. So your organization, International Men's Day Committee, you gave a narrative on that. What events do you all have planned for the year? Because you went through a couple of things already.
Yes. So this year we have, like I said, we have the gospel concert coming up, which will be on June 6th. That will be on Friday, June 6th. We have the gospel concert, and then on June 14th, which we do every year, we have a Father's Day luncheon in the prison, which is spearheaded by Elder Dave. And this year we're hoping to go into maximum security. I'm sure he'll give you some more thought on that. And then in September, we do the men's. We're going to have a men's march. And then in November, on November 19th, which is actually International Men's Day all over the world. That is when we celebrate and honor the men who have made contributions to this nation.
So this would be a big event in November then?
Yes, it'll be a big event in November. Department of Family and Gender Affairs is going to partner with us. So we're looking at doing something big. And I can't let all the cats on the bag yet, but we're looking at doing something major this year. I'll just mention there will be a major leadership seminar for men that week.
Let's have you explain the June stuff to detail before I go to Dave Williams. Explain what he's doing inside his prison ministry. So in June, you mentioned 2 events. How can the general public participate, partner, stuff like that?
So the concert on June 6th is going to be at Chapel on the Hill, Friday, June 6th, 7 p.m. That will be a concert where we will be celebrating men. And we hope to honor some men, some fathers during that concert. And it's $10 at the door, $5 for children. So everybody's invited to come out and celebrate the fathers whom we will be honoring. We will release those names hopefully this week. By the end of this week, we will release the fathers. We're just waiting on them to accept the honor. And once they accept it, we'll release those names. But we have chosen some unsung fathers who you don't hear about a lot, but they are working and trying to keep their family together. And not only that, some of them are working in the communities as stand-in fathers for children who don't have fathers.
And that's the concert, right? And what you doing to get the information out to the churches, to men's group, to the boys group?
Yep. So we are sending flyers out. We are sending information out. We're also going to have a meeting with all those organized before that week, so that we can send information out. We're also going to do a press conference with some press coverage and whatnot.
Okay, and that's the concert. You also mentioned a Father's Day event?
Luncheon.
That's where Dave Williams. Okay, let me go do Dave Williams. Welcome again. Dave always coming inside the show, man. He's a regular. He needs to have his own talk show just to talk men issues. We need to work that on on a Saturday or a Sunday evening, and you just talk men issues.
You just gotta speak with.
I'm trying to speak to existent.
Yes, and tell him let's make it happen. We'll deal exclusively men. But I want to thank you, Aaron. Always, I must honestly admit that both of you are always, literally the first to respond to me when I make a request. So I have to publicly thank you and Aaron Green for that. I appreciate your support. I know, Aaron, just like yourself, you also believe in encouraging and uplifting our men, because we recognize that, until our men, we become the leaders that God has called us to be, then that start the process of the change that needs to take place. But I just also forget to remind you, the president of a stakeout we have a grill and chill out. Now, our organization, I need to let people know we are like everybody else, non-profit. We have absolutely no funds, government nowhere. So we depend on any fundraising efforts to assist us. And as you know, all of these various programs cost money. Classic example is the Father's Day event, which is going to be one of our expensive events, because what we're doing for the last 3 years, we have had a service in medium security where we'd invite fathers out, we'd invite their children, we would provide food as well as we provide care packages. And so this time we're taking a shift, we're going to go to maximum. That's the plan. And we want to invite at least, we can write for about 100 men. The maximum is a little different because of security. But even if they give us 50, we appreciate it. But also the key is that the families must also be there too, right? That's key. Fathers must have their children there as an opportunity to spend time with their children.
How do you get the children to be involved? I mean, their fathers are in jail, incarcerated.
Yes. What has happened is the Bahamas Department of Correction, I want to thank the Commissioner, Don Clare, they have a program called Grow Your Child. I just attended the last one, maybe about a month ago, in Medium, where they had an all-day fun day on a Saturday. Children came, hang with their fathers. They had bouncing castle. They provided food. They provided entertainment. And so we're hoping to now take the same model or a similar model in maximum security so that these fathers now get to have that type of bonding with their children. Based on my time, I can recall, I've not seen it happen in maximum to that extent. But I want this year to be the first time it happened, if it has happened before. But from our organization, where the request we're putting in is to have fathers' permission for their children to come in. And they get to spend, let's say we start like 9, they get to spend at least from 9 to 12. We have a brief service, but there will be a bouncing castle and opportunities. And Aaron and CA, let me tell you something. For me, that's one of the most moving times when I see something like that. To see these children, hugging their fathers. I can recall some years ago when we had a program and there was a graduation and the little boy, like, as he was coming into the room and he spotted his daddy a distance off. And he said, "Daddy, Daddy." And like everybody looked at that. You see what I'm saying? And so afterwards, I went to the young man. I wish I could get his name. I said, "Boy, you see the difference you make inside your..." And this is a little young, small child. I said, "You see the difference you make in your child life?" Just as he come through the door and he see you, he starts saying, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." So that's what we plan to do. And so we want to provide care packages because what we want to do is be able to give them some basic items. Now, I know persons may call the show and, people have this mentality. They do the crime, spend the time and take the key and lock them up and bury them under the prison and all this stuff. But the one thing I always say, right, these men and women will return to society again. And whoever else don't do their part. When these men return back, what do we expect? So we have to do our part.
I just want to say that the prison model that we have here is a plantation model. It is a broken, dysfunctional model. And we know this because we can look to examples of prison systems across the world. And when we travel north, when we go to Nordic countries, the environment the prisoners are in clearly reflect the ethos, right, behind what a punishment is, what a sentence is. Jail, prison, as incarceration, is simply to restrict your movements.
Yes.
It's not to punish you physically,
Right.
psychologically, or emotionally, right? It is to provide rehabilitation physically, psychologically, emotionally.
Yes.
But the punishment is the restriction of your movement.
Right.
You cannot engage in sexual or romantic intimacy when you want. You cannot eat when you want. You cannot bathe when you want.
Can't even sleep when you want.
You cannot sleep when you want. And that, right, is at the root of what incarceration is supposed to be. And so, right, like you say, this idea that people have that if you're in prison, that means you're supposed to suffer.
Right.
If you're in prison, that means you're supposed to experience violence. Not the case at all. Not at all. And so I wanted to ask you, for people who are interested in supporting the program through making donations for the care package.
Yes.
What types of things do you put in the care package, and what types of things can I donate to this organization for care packages?
So normally what happens for the care packages, we put deodorant, we have a towel, we have soap, we have toothpaste.
What about socks?
Toothbrush. The ones I've done in the past, I've never really asked for it. But if they're available, because, the old saying, the more the merrier. So if socks are available, whatever they are available, we accept it to be distributed. Sometime, a lady I know, Miss Bannister, who works with Urban Renewal, and she works out of Mother Pratt office, somehow they had some connection where they brought in trailers of, they call these crocodile.
Crocs.
crooks.
Okay.
And they were distributed. So, yes, right. So the point is, and we call them residents. So even as a part of corrections, right, we don't use the term inmates, prisoners. We use the term residents. Some say clients, right? And the other thing I want to say too, coming up actually June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, there's going to be a major prison conference right here in the Bahamas. There's some 50-something delegates coming in from Latin America, the Caribbean, as well as the CEO of Prison Fellowship International. And that's going to be held next week.
Absolutely.
That's something to have them come on air. So
okay, I'll try. I'll do my best. Right.
So some of the topics I want to know about, just briefly, because I am loosely now, but was a part of a network in the region.
Right.
And so my organization connected to an organization called Carry Flags, which was under an umbrella called CVC, and prisoners, residents in incarceration,
right,
were assessed as vulnerable populations within the work that this network did. Will there be anybody coming to speak on vulnerable communities in prison, from LGBT to HIV positive people living with HIV to disabled people even?
Okay, I know it's a leadership conference. I'm still waiting on the itinerary. What you just shared, send it to me. I will send it to the director. She's responsible for the Latin and Caribbean region. She lives in Nicaragua. So I will send it to her and ask her, get her opinion, her view, if it's something that they want to incorporate. Because like I say...
Or if just they go have it. I don't
Right. But if you send that to me on my cell, I'll then send it to her and find out from her, get her views on it.
Mr. Williams, we have a caller that wants to engage you before you go. Kermit, patch that caller through. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, where's it, Newry?
Rachel, man, you say?
Everything good. Hey, Dave.
Yes, Gillibo.
How'd it go?
All is well, man.
Listen, I just want to let Miss Green know, right? She was in error concerning two things what she say about what take place in prison. Prisoners eat when they feel like eating. Anytime they want to eat. Bed, anytime they want bed. When they want bed. There's no restriction on them. Now, the other one, she was correct on the other one. It does have them kind of short and mobile.
Yes.
Because of the thing. But the other two, I just wanted to call in and let her know that. But Dave,
yes,
you can play catch up, man.
No problem, man. Once I come off the radio.
Thank you very much, Gillibo. We have another caller there, Mr. Williams, before you leave. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me? All right, that caller, go on. So, why is it so important for... See, Aaron talk about what the intention of being incarcerated is supposed to be.
Yes.
But I kind of old school. I won't punish people.
Okay.
Right? That's just me.
Yes.
I grew up. So, man, you do a crime, I plan to mash you down. That's my mentality. And it's not necessarily right. And I realize it.
Yes.
And that is just my weakness.
Okay.
I am a little uneasy of having young boys go and see their daddies in jail.
Okay.
Right, and I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not willing to be wrong.
Yes.
Why do you think it's important for young boys to say that's my daddy there to maintain a relationship, despite they being incarcerated?
Because I believe the relationship should always be built in the ups, the downs, the high and the low. I mean, that's a general thing. So at the end of the day, it also serves as a motivation for the fathers. Remember this case I went back when I said to that young man, and that's why I wish I had known his name, because I could have followed up today to find out if he's out and, what the relationship is like. And so it's so important. I think of I've had experience of, it's not a good experience, of one or two fathers reaching out to me and asking me to reach out to their sons, right? Well, it's happened in a number of cases, but I share these two to say, unfortunately, even reaching out to their sons, right? Their sons still end up there. So here you have father and son there. So I believe the bond must be built no matter what happens to that father, if he's incarcerated or not. That bond must always be there, because at the end of the day, changes take place. People are motivated. And as a result of the experiences, people use it now to turn things around and say, hey, you know what? Look here, I've done this wrong. I've made this mistake. And I want to encourage you, put you on the right path so that you don't end up here where I am. Because when we look at it, many people think prison is so easy. It isn't as simple as you think it is. When you look at your freedom taken away from you, when you look at, I give a classic example, as a skilled know you're listening. When we go in classes or let's say a service, and I say, well, everybody stand. They're not going to sit down and tell them to sit. You could say sit here, sit there. My point is, to me, a lot of people I've experienced who are well-behaved are incarcerated today. Of course, it's only for a time period, but the point is, right, that freedom, you don't have that freedom like you so want to do this, to do that, to go here. Many people literally come out to classes, services and others just to get out of the cell. How do I know it? Because they've confessed it, they've said it. At the end of classes, when we get testimonies, and we do get testimonies and feedback, because we have to send our information onto the National Prison Fellowship International. But since I only came on the classes just to get out of cell after being locked down for 23 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. We have another caller who wants to engage you, and I want you to, before you go, give your contacts, especially for those people who want to say, I want to send some toothpastes, some toothbrushes, some towels, some socks, right? I want support. I want to give you some $20 to put in your pocket to buy water for the various events, especially for the gospel concert coming along. People who want to buy tickets. I want you to go over that narrative. But let's go to this caller first. And then you do a summary on how to contact you, if you have any social media platforms, websites, telephone numbers, and stuff, email, stuff like that. Go ahead, caller.
Golly days is back in the way so long with you and your panel, Newry.
What?
To the gentleman, right? What with this situation in which you are dealing with, right?
Yes.
When you what's happening in the Bahamas today, right? How much of your objective are being met, and how much what's the statistic of them turning from crime or any such thing? That's my question to you, and plus I have a comment, but I would like for you to answer.
But do your comment so we can go move on to.
I would like to, according to his answers.
Okay, I understand. Go ahead. You want to know the impact of your organizations.
Okay. Well, first, I think off the top of my head, and I have the 2022 statistics. I trying to remember now. The recidivism rate is about 10 or 12%. I'm not sure. I should have had the book in my hand, right? In terms of persons going back. But for me, one of the things, the success rate I looked at is in terms of individuals who are coming out. We have an aftercare program, right? Specifically speaking now with Prison Fellowship. As you know, international men, all of us are in this together, different NGOs. And so we do have an aftercare program. As a matter of fact, I was at the transitional house just yesterday, right? Where a number of our men who have been incarcerated and need a place to stay. So that to me is an example of us continuing to follow up. I can't give you no specific statistics as to how many persons have not returned, or I can't give that. But I can say there are cases of persons who have came out, who have changed, who have transformed their life. And one thing I want to say, 90% of the individuals who have come out of prison, the credit has always been to a change in their life, and I'm talking spiritually now. That has made a difference. I will not get around that. I'll not go past that. And when I say spiritually, I'm talking persons who have made a complete change in their life. Christ as Lord and Savior of their lives. So that's all I want to say on that for now.
Do you have a lot of Rastafarian practicing men reaching out to your programs? Like I know you said some residents will let you know, look, I hear, because this is an hour I don't have to spend in my cell.
Right.
But do you have individuals of other faiths? I'm thinking particularly Rastafarian, or even Voodoo and Haitian descent, who reach out to you to say, hey, I like the nature of this, but could you find a Rastafarian priest? Could you find a Haitian priest to run a similar program or to participate?
Well, most of the programs basically most of them really are Christian based. Mm-hmm. I personally have not encountered individuals who have professed it to me and asked what I would direct them to, but I know there's an organization, I know Israel United in Christ, they want to get into the prison, and I directed them to the chaplaincy because he makes the final decision.
Okay.
And I realized that we're unique I once served as director for the Caribbean, for Prison Fellowship International. So I got the opportunity to travel to prisons in a number of countries. And in Trinidad, I experienced that, where in the Bahamas I was just used to Christianity. But in Trinidad, there was Rastas, Christians, there was Hindus, and one other, I can't remember.
Muslims?
Muslims.
Islam.
Right. So I got to visit the prison and experience, and I experienced it in Ghana. Last year when I was in Ghana, for the first time, we as Christians, we had a service. The Muslims were there because we were inside of each other. And once our service was finished, and then we went into the health aspect of the program, and then the Muslims started their programs. So I would direct persons, if they ask me that, speak with the chaplain.
Going on that, my experience has been, because Priest Diamond is a good friend of mine, so I normally recommend the Rasta, if I am approached by a Rastafarian who's interested in working, so I normally would recommend them to Priest Diamond.
Okay, awesome.
Man, the phones light up, man.
Yes.
let me engage. Remember, I still want to get the contacts too, though. No. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I realize you were doing this for years, right? But what I've noticed, when it comes to the Bahamas, there are no deviation. Young people still killing up each other. You know, they still going to jail for a long time. You know.
Okay, then.
On the surface, I feel you, Braden. What you're saying is, like, on the surface, it doesn't feel like an individual from your location that the work is effectively shifting culture. But I think that there are lots of dynamics going on in the space, right? And so I think it's unfair. Of course, it speaks to the need to grow the capacity of the space, right, for collecting data and then analyzing statistics and presenting those conclusions and results to the public. But trust me, I think that we could say that this program is working. It'd be great to have the recidivism rates, like how many individuals are coming back for the same offense, and then to get into the reasons why they're coming back, right?
Well, that's like, I've been working with the boys in the juvenile center, right? My last program, I worked with 30 boys. I can speak clearly to that at least 18 of them are doing well, because I was able personally to find jobs for them. I have some of them working as divers in the diving companies. I have some working at the hotels. So I can say out of the 18 to 30 boys that we were working with
18 of them,
juvenile, 18 of them are doing well. Now, that doesn't mean all of them are doing well, but I know I can give a confidence. I can actually go and find them right now and know where they are.
Let's do this last caller, and then we do that summary. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
Hello.
Hello, you're live. Go ahead, caller. I can hear you. Boy, caller is there. If you call back on that one line, I allow you to get space, but let me do my summary right now.
And contact information.
Yes. Go ahead there.
Yeah, so if you want to reach out to us, and we are accepting any type of donation, monies or in kind, we need toothpaste, we need toothbrush.
And this is the International Men's Day Committee.
Yes. So you can reach me, Henry Higgins, which I'm the president, 803-4423. Our email address is imdbahamas242@hotmail.com. imdbahamas242@hotmail.com. You can reach us there. Also, you can reach Dave. Dave, you can give your contact as well.
Yes, so for me, it is 433-6917. I am open with my cell. No problem. You know, both of you, as you know, anybody need to reach out, just give them my cell. So I repeat it again, 433-6917.
I can see if I can squeeze this one caller in, then we take a commercial break. I thank you again for your continuous support to men, especially men who are vulnerable and who are going through challenges, and giving that extra support. You know, lending your shoulder, saying, "Hey, I hear." Right? I know the task can sometimes be daunting. Like, it's hard work.
Yes.
You know, and you do a number of collaborations with various organizations to make sure it comes to fruition. But let's go to this caller, and before we transition again.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, ma'am.
How are you?
Doing well. You're live.
Excellent. I'm enjoying the show. I just want to say, first of all, to the previous caller, whatever his name is, he calls in a lot. I listen to the show a lot. I love it. And I just want to say that while on the surface, some persons are looking in the natural to say, oh, these guys are going in and we're having a lot more killing and stuff like that, or shooting, and other persons are going in jail or whatever. as someone who really, I love to pray, and I always pray for our men. I believe, like, this international association or NGO, they're sowing their seed. The Word of God says one sow, the one plant, the other one water, but God get the increase. So I believe that they are doing their part. Other local ministries are doing their part. And so together, these men are being touched in different ways. Secondly, a particular show on YouTube where this Spanish Christian group, they go and they interview men who got themselves caught up in drugs, caught up in all of these gangs and stuff like that, and who had been sent to jail for life. And they have had like an encounter with God while they were in jail, and whose lives were really, really impacted. And they would do these videos with these men and women who are able to share their testimonies so that other young people or other persons out there, lives could be changed. And perhaps if we consider doing a better job of following up with the men and asking them to tell their stories, it can have an impact on our young people, you know. So that's my 5 cents. At the end of the day, I just want to encourage you all to keep doing what you're doing, because God is still in control. And man's heart is there to be softened. We just, as people who know how to pray, continue to pray for our nation and continue to pray for our men and our young people.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you for your...
Oh, I just wanted to say, and I wanted to let people know changes are taking place. I just came out of Orlando to a prison conference. There's a lady, and you can Google it. Her name is Alice Marie Johnson. Sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole in 1996. Commuted to 21 years in prison, and she was pardoned by Donald Trump. She is now, she testified at the conference I came out of. She's now the Caesar, for, I don't know the correct words they use for pardon. Okay?
Caesar of
pardons. And she was at that conference. Things are happening. So Alice Marie Johnson, go on Google and you can look her up. Donald Trump pardoned her, and he reached out to her in his new term. Positive things happen. I choose to focus on the positive.
Amen. Choose to concentrate on the positive. Thank you very much, Dave Williams. Thank you very much, Henry Higgins, and continue to do your work.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. Guardian Radio A.M. with CA Newry. We'll be right back.
Bella boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good for nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want find, send picture direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas. Then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons.
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Have you already tried our President Butter? Ooh la la. Indulge a little with President, because now more than ever, we need to savor the taste, textures, and feelings to truly enjoy the little things that mean the most. President Butter, something to savor.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel want to take you and 3 others on a 7-day cruise to Panama, Colombia, Curacao, and Aruba on Royal Caribbean Serenade of the Seas. And here's the best part. no visa required. That's right, no visa required. You have 4 ways to enter, 4 ways to win. 1, fill out the form in the Nassau Guardian. 2, listen to Star 106.5 and Guardian Radio 96.9. 3, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. 4, or make a purchase at Going Places Travel. Entry deadline is June 27, 2025. So pack your bags, get ready to soak up the sun, and feel that ocean breeze. You and 3 loved ones sailing the high seas on a vacation cruise of a lifetime. Drawing is on July 4, 2025. Brought to you by the Nassau Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel. Certain conditions apply. Airfare, taxes, and gratuities not included.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. Of course, this is CA Newry, and I shall be, you know, when you're starting over and your phone start making noise, I'm trying to silence it before you hear the wrong thing on live. Guardian Radio Media Group and Going Places Travel wants to take you on a 7-day cruise for 4 to Panama, Colombia, Curacao, and Aruba on Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas. And here's the best part. No visa is required. That's right. No visa is required. You have 4 ways to enter. That's right. 4 ways to win. 1, you fill out the form in the Nassau Guardian. 2, listen to Star 106.5 and Guardian Radio 96.9. 3, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. 4, or make a purchase at Going Places Travel. Entry deadline is on June 27th, 2025. Drawing is on July 4th, 2025. So pack up your bags, get ready to soak up the sun and feel the ocean breeze. You and 3 loved ones sailing the high seas on vacation. Cruise of a lifetime brought to you by the Guardian Radio Media Group and Going Places Travel. And of course, certain conditions apply. Airfare, taxes, and gratuities are not included. The other day, Aaron, we were asking whether the opposition was right. Are there signs of an early election?
Look at the paper.
My prime minister, and I see you always trying to bait me because my prime minister is an honest and decent man. And you say, of course, look at the paper, meaning that suggesting that something untoward. The good German said there's not going to be an early election. Only him know when the elections will be, and they have things to do.
Hold on. When you say
miles to go before we get work to do. So I hear y'all in the background trying to be politically mischievous, suggesting all kind of things. But there's not going to be no early election. And I'm trying to find out why you keep on bringing it up and harping on this thing, suggesting that
I can tell you what, because the conditions are the same. Mm-hmm. The conditions are the same, and the conditions are ripe. Mm-hmm. You remember 3 or 4 weeks ago, when this story just popped out of nowhere. The story just popped out of nowhere, saying prices, the cost of electricity is going to go up until about 2027, and then it's going to drop back down again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, that's the right environment. I bet you they call an election before the price of electricity goes up.
You think the price of electricity going up again?
They told us that. Hold on, they told us that. Not me. I don't think it. They told us that.
But they said just for a short.
Because then you remember I said, well, that's cool because you may not be here in 2027 to reap the benefits of the prices going back down. Mm-hmm. So don't watch nothing. It's okay. It's fine. So I that to me, but yeah.
Okay. So something you're trying to draw my attention to, and I see you, caller. Give me a couple seconds. To in the newspaper.
In today's Guardian.
Today's Guardian. Go ahead.
PLP preparing to launch campaign on Labor Day.
This Labor Day?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a year-long campaign?
It's going to be a 1.5 year long campaign, or it's going to be an early election.
Either or.
What is likely to change? The period, the amount of time, the duration of a campaign season, right? Or the date of the election. I have a feeling that they can adjust the campaign. It's easy to just pick a date for the election, but to mobilize and adjust and change the nature of how they campaign.
I'm going to bring in this.
I can't read today.
Yeah,
the words are wonderful.
I'm going to bring this, and you can read that. And I'm thinking, can our country withstand a 1.5 year election, being constant election for the next year, campaigning and the mudslinging and the innuendos?
We've withstood it for the last almost 4 years. We dealt with it for the last 3.5 years. Why? What's with another year and a half?
Because money is to be spending. Let's go to the caller there first. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio A.M.
Good morning, Newry. Good morning, Miss Green.
Good morning.
I don't know if you would agree or if you see it this way. You know, Labor Day, the different political parties, different companies, union umbrellas is come out on Labor Day. Well, the PLP been doing it for years. What they trying to do, it seems like to me, see how much people they could come out to show support, knowing that maybe possibly election might be this year or next year, so they want persons to come out there to show their support. Once ago, we used to call it renting a crowd. We used to call it like when you rent an apartment, you rent a crowd for whatsoever occasion you need it right there for. They should be in good position to do it. Doesn't mean nothing to plenty of us. What they need to really do, they can see a crowd, they can see manpower, they can see how much we appreciate them and respect them on election day, sure, because I'm blind and can't see. I don't know if you all just have the copy of the Guardian there, or if you all could go online if you see in the Tribune. I don't know if anything was written. The late former Senator Rodney Monk, it was reported that he had a memorial, and we had a sitting prime minister was reported to bring, not greetings, but bring farewell, and 2 former prime ministers. So I ain't nothing on no news or no radio or nothing. So I just wonder if you all see anything in the papers, you could bring me up to date. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
You wasn't listening to my show, eh? It in the papers.
Okay, in the papers. But remember, he's blind.
He just asked if it's in the papers.
Yeah, he wasn't listening.
It's in the papers.
He listened to my show.
Yeah, good.
So now
I like that he listened to your show.
Right. So now he acts it now. Now it's in the papers. Okay, go ahead, read the headline.
PLP preparing to launch campaign on Labor Day. Well, you don't see the picture. Okay, Papa, is in the Guardian today. There's a picture of the Prime Minister, right? He's standing to his right. There's the Minister of National Security, and then the Minister of State, Senator Alcides.
Finance.
Economic affairs.
Yeah.
Which is different from finance.
But he's Minister of State of that.
That's not...
See him?
No.
So Minister of Finance is by itself.
Okay, it's Brave, and then Alcides, who comes in the middle?
Yeah.
Wilson. It can't be.
Look where you're going.
Okay, but look at the picture.
Wilson is not a
look at the picture.
It's not a political.
Look how hard the Prime Minister's humming in that picture.
He ain't humming. He's singing the song.
He can't be singing the song. He look like he biting the song. I just saying. There's a picture in the paper today, Papa. Let me read from the article.
Stutter man. Why are you making fun of the Prime Minister just because he stutter? He stutter.
That video was him stuttering through the song?
No, he was humming then. He was humming that one.
Because I saw him in Fiji over the Choga meeting. This boy sang like Pat Roll and Ronnie Butler had a baby.
Because he's singing about his way.
PLP preparing to launch campaign on Labor Day. Progressive Liberal Party Deputy Chairman Obi Roberts told party members to, quote, prepare for political war, close quotes.
I can wait.
Which will begin on the Labor Day parade.
So
Stop.
No. He ain't start yet.
They declaring to start war on the Labor Day. What?
On Labor Day.
And you telling me this boy is not a comedian? Mr. Davis, you telling me that you are not a comedian and Pintard is the comedian? You're going to launch your campaign on Labor Day, the most sacred day in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The most sacred day in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You're going to launch your campaign on that day, and you're going to let your deputy chairman of the party tell the people to prepare for political war on Labor Day, the most sacred day in the Bahamas? Okay.
I think you interpreted it wrongly. as you know, the PLP has the largest crowd on Labor Day.
Where no political party is supposed to be present.
They've been there for the past umpteenth years. Always they're present, always have at least 400 strong.
Which is actually a joke. I like that you said that because 400 strong on a Labor Day parade for the PLP is a great indicator, or better yet, indictment.
Yes,
Go on.
especially when the other Labor parties only have 120. The PLP
because the rest,
they dwarfed it.
Because the rest of the laborers are actually marching with the PLP, and the PLP could only get 400 people out to a Labor Day parade.
This Labor Day, I assume they plan to have 1,000. And these people, they're going to be told to go to work. See how it ties to Labor Day? Go to work for the war. And they're declaring war. It's going to be a war of sight. You see that sea of, I don't even know what color they wear now. They don't wear yellow no more.
It's war of sight?
What color they wear? Talk with that. What color they wear now? The PLP. What's the PLP color now? Aqua?
Can't be aqua.
It's not yellow. It's not gold no more. They don't wear gold.
That's because they can't find it. The same way that they refuse to find the proper gold for the flag. Yes, we know there's an alternate yellow, but the proper gold for the flag, the same way they refuse to find that for the national symbol. You telling me it's the same way that they refuse to find their own proper party colors?
I think this
makes sense to me.
This is going to be like an intimidation. If when you see the sea of whatever color the PLP are now,
when you see the sea of yellow, you go to the immunization office and make sure you have your yellow fever vaccination?
Every political party should be intimidated. Let's go to the caller here. I can see a number of callers on. You can call now. So Aaron can finish reading this article right there. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM.
So, Newry, what the head and say? Now, you know, I'm blind. I couldn't see.
For the Rodney Munker story?
Miss Grant?
Yes, for the Rodney Munker story?
Well, I didn't want him. I didn't want to bother you because you sound like you didn't really, and I didn't even call you to ask you that.
I feel you. Somebody else did. I thought you was listening. Somebody else did. No, I didn't. So there's a picture in today's Guardian, right? Yeah. The headline is Rodney Munker Memorial.
I appreciate that about you, Mom.
Yeah, don't watch nothing. I think I
have a strong feeling how you really feel.
I mean, you know, I don't have a problem telling people how I feel.
No, you keep that. Don't do that.
Thank you. I appreciate you and community.
You don't do that. You don't do that, you see?
Oh,
you have to experience it to know how it feels, to go through it, and then let someone do it to you. So, what the head and say?
My mouth stopped working, Papa. My mouth stopped working, and there are no more newspapers in the building, Papa.
What they say about Rodney Munker?
They said nothing. The truth is, they said nothing. There are two pictures on the front page of the paper with captions. That's it.
You could do that, eh?
No, there were two pictures on the front to you.
Done. If you don't mind reading it, you could read it for me.
It's too late. My mouth broke. You caused my mouth to break just now.
Anyhow, you wouldn't. Anyhow, I hope nobody else be blind and know how that feels. Keep up the good work.
It's just a caption. And in fact, I read to you exactly what it said. This is a picture with the Prime Minister Monroe, Halkidas. Behind him is Christie, Randy Roll. I don't know who that gentleman is. I'm supposed to know who that is. And this next young person behind there almost look like Louis George, but that can't be true, right?
Why can't it be true? That might be Louis.
The second picture,
it look like Louis.
Monroe, Davis, Ingram, all giggling, and Christie. To be honest, Christie looked like he may be taking a short nap. And they're sitting after the service of the pairs, just, you know.
Mr. Christie, over 80, he's supposed to be able to take a nap anytime he
wants. I didn't say it was a problem. I'm describing for Pawpaw what was in the paper.
Yes. There's no caption.
There's no story. Yes. There's only a caption.
That's names. That's not really a caption.
Yeah, it just says who's in the picture.
Yes.
I didn't lie to you, Papa.
Let's go to the
next. But my mouth still broke.
Let's go to the next caller there, Aaron. Go ahead, Guardian Radio AM.
Good morning to both of you. Let me just answer two questions. The question Dean asked a question to what Deputy Prime Minister Chester was answering in his long tirade for which he didn't answer the question. And in case she's listening, the question asked of him that he did not answer when he moved to Pintard not showing up and a host of other things was, when will the information concerning the head of agreement be made available? And he went on and on and on. Just kind of remember that. Second question, let me ask the two of you. If you have 15 more months of governance and you have nothing else you could produce, what would you do? Just prepare for election. That's simply it. If you could produce, you would be prepared. You would be producing, showing that you're a better situation to govern. This is why the Progressive Liberal Party say what? We need more time as opposed to we have more things to do. They need more time to finish what they promised they would do in this amount of time, rather than more time to do more things. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I want to finish reading that article. You read Animal Farm at QC. You all didn't read that for your reference.
No, but I'm glad that you brought it up, because I think it's important to remind people, right? Like, you're supposed to read for illumination. Like Animal Farm, you read it to understand it. Don't read it to be it. Mm-hmm. And I think that in the reading of some of these books, Animal Farm 1984, that people forgot that they are not the characters in the book. The point of reading the book is not to become the characters, but to not become the characters.
My child some years ago asked me why she has to take up literature. And I was trying to explain how important literature is to apply to society and what's happening, the culture, whatever it is. And I mentioned that she didn't read Animal Farm for her class, but I mentioned the importance of literature. And I wonder if the political season starts, if the campaign starts, right? That means all of the theatrics or announcements being made is politics. It's no longer governance because the season starts. So if I say I need an accountability on this, the sheep like in the Animal Farm now start bleeding and drown me out. That means I have no answers. Bahamian people can expect no answers for the next 15 months.
I mean, and we're used to it by now.
No, man, we can demand answers.
I mean, we can demand, and we have been demanding, and we haven't gotten them.
You're still mad about the Independence Day celebration numbers, eh?
I'm not mad about it. I'm concerned deeply that the mechanisms that's supposed to uphold our country are ridiculed, are disregarded, are treated like fodder the same way they treat us like fodder. I'm concerned that the Minister for Youth, Sports and Culture got up and tabled an unaudited report in the face of an audited report tabled by the Auditor General with no response and no response from the sitting administration. These are jokes, which is why I find the attacks on Pintard feral, and I wonder if the Prime Minister actually understood what the word feral means.
We'll talk about that too. We'll talk about that. I want to still invite the chairman of the COI, the lady,
Charlotte Green.
Yes, to come on the show. I'm still inviting her. Before we start charging, it's election season. That means all the politicals who coming on the show got to be paying towards Guardian's bill. So
No, don't say it like that. What do you mean? You have to pay the fee to appear on air. It's as simple as that.
But I'll still give the COI chairman a free show. Because after election season start, the COI got to pay. The AFNM got to pay. The PLP got to pay to come on the
and
show.
All amalgamations. Like if you come on my show because you say you're independent and then I find you join a coalition, get paid.
I'll make space for independent people.
No, and then I find you join a coalition, you get paid.
You got to pay afterwards.
Afterwards, yeah.
This has been Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. It's election season. Come June. Come on the Labour March and you'll see it. The big parade. Junking it. Have a wonderful day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.